I want to learn about animals and how the animals live on the land. Bring it out and set it up and come back in a month or two and go back, pull your camera apart, get your little SD out and see what kind of beautiful photos you get. Probably go set some up in Jameson, my home country, hillside or around the sand dunes area, or around a burrow to see if there's animals actually living in the burrow or maintaining the burrow.
I can check the status of this one. 5 pictures, 0% full on the memory card and 73% NIMH. That's actually the batteries, the battery life, so it's at 73%. Date, time, temperature. Just okay to keep going through. Motion sensors on. The sensitivity is high, so yeah, it'll pick up a fair amount of movement, I guess, from vegetation as well and small things as well that come into the camera's path. Pictures per trigger, well, that's set at 5, so that's okay. Picture internal rapid fire, so I'll just go take pictures. Yep. Quiet period, no delay, so if something else were to move into the camera sight, it would take a quick 5 set of pictures as well as that, instead of having a delay in between and possibly missing it. Finished, okay, yep, that's done. Just going to close this one. Alright, these are one of the cameras we use for monitoring. These are just set up just like this, just a little bit above the ground, just so that it has an overview of anything that might pass through. Normally we'll have it in a clear area. We'll cut all sorts of vegetation out of the way just to clear it out, so that anything that walks past will get caught on that sensor. That's why we have to make sure that they're sitting upright and straight and pointing. We usually have it on a stand on the back, and we'll just have it sitting upright about this level and facing forward, and we just want to make sure that it's level, that it's sitting up straight and has a clear view of that area in front of me.
Let's see the date and the time. But it's okay. If you wanna arm the camera, just press OK, and it'll tell you the time when the camera's gonna arm, like 10 seconds maybe.
We can do a walk test, and that's this one here. A little red light flashes just in order to see if the motion sensor is working. Walk test. Walk test, press OK when done. Every time I move my hand in front of it, it's picking that up, and then we'll do a walk test, walk by, or just make sure that that's functioning okay. So I'll just open her up, there's a clip on the side, switch it off. There's the SD card from the side, close it up. There we go, that's all done.